Hey all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and today I'm over here by the wood stove to get a fire going. So we use a wood stove to heat our little country home, and this is our only source of heat. Our house is pretty small and it's only one story, so the heat stays in here pretty well. So this is what we use, and it's actually been a warm winter so far, so we actually haven't had to have this going constantly, so that's been pretty nice. Like last week it was in the 60s, so that was crazy for December, but it's a little chillier today, so I'm gonna get a fire going. So as you can see, we just have, this is a smaller wood stove, and we also have, there's the piping up here that goes up to the chimney, but also we have what is called, let me show you real quick. So this is a blower right here, and what this does is it has like a little thermostat in it, and then when this pipe gets to a certain temperature, then a fan kicks on and blows all the warm air out of the pipe, which would go right up the chimney, and then we would lose that extra heat from the stove. So once that heat starts going up through the chimney, this will kick on and it will blow the heat out to us. So we're getting heat from the stove, and then we're also getting heat blown out from this. So this here, it does have an electric cord that you have to plug into an outlet. So say the power goes out or something like that, this won't be able to run, so it won't get as warm in here because this won't be able to be on if the power is out, which also we have to be careful about because you don't want all this getting too hot. So we have to have a small, lower going fire in the wood stove, but we still are able to have heat from the wood stove if the power is out because it's a wood stove. So, but this is all we use to heat our little country home, and it does really well. We've had a lot of winters where people around us, they've said that their pipes have frozen, and if we have our wood stove going constantly, then we haven't really had a problem with that. But also we have our house pretty well sided and closed in, so that could help as well. But as long as we have this going very, very well and constantly when it's super cold outside, we haven't had too much of a problem with that. So I'm going to go ahead and start a fire in here because it's actually not super cold out today. The sun is shining, but it is a little chilly, and I'm going to be making sourdough bread today, so I need the heat in the house for the sourdough bread to be able to rise. So I'm going to go ahead and get a fire going. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So I have already have wood and kindling in here. So this stove is smaller, so a lot of times when people make a fire, they'd kind of do like a teepee with their wood, but I can't really do that because this is a smaller wood stove. So I kind of just, I make a base for where I want the fire to start, and then I'll kind of hollow out a little spot to put where I want the fire to start, and then it will get going. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I start out with a little base of wood in there, and I use just the little thinner kindling pieces to get it going. And I just kind of make a little like hollow spot in the center of it to get it going. And a lot of people will either use paper or cardboard or wool or sawdust or stuff like that. We like to use these. They're little sawdust blocks and they have wax on them, so those work really well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and light that really quick. So this is going to take a couple minutes to get going pretty well, but the main thing is to let your fire get enough airflow so it's able to catch the wood. But usually when you get this part actually going really well and you start getting coals and all of that in there, then you can start putting your bigger logs on, but you really want the fire to get going pretty well. Alright, I'm gonna grab a couple more pieces and start building this fire up. So as this starts to get going, we just keep putting little pieces around it so that the fire starts catching pretty good. So we'll do anything from like little tiny thin pieces of kindling to like pieces of bark, you know, just little things that are going to catch a lot easier. Now, if you already had a fire going, what I like to do is usually there's red coals in here that, you know, they're still pretty warm, and so I'll just build up little pieces of kindling around that and then, you know, get that airflow really going in there. And then you won't even need like, you know, newspaper, cardboard, or sawdust blocks or anything like that, because you already have those warm red coals in there from your fire before that you're able to start the fire with. So looks like this is starting to get going pretty well. So I'm just gonna keep putting some more wood on there. Now I usually am the one who tends the fire most of the time, so I do this every day in the winter time. So I've been doing this for a while. Alright, so as you can see, we're starting to get some flames in there, so I'm going to start putting some bigger pieces on. So, pretty much we're just going to let that burn for a little bit. I'm going to kind of supervise it. So, with these on the front here, these are little like spinners, and you can open them and close them. So these give the fire air when you close the door. So like if these are all the way closed, then your fire is not going to get air. So the fire needs air to get going. It needs that airflow. So you're going to open these when your fire is just starting to get going, so that it can get the airflow. And then as your fire gets hotter, you can start closing these a little bit. And then if the fire is just so hot, like you can close these almost all the way up, just like barely have them open. And then that's how you get a low, slow going fire. So, but yeah, so we have pretty good fire going in there now. But I hope you all have enjoyed seeing how we use the wood stove in our home. Alright, all, thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.